what we can see here is a pretty sizable foundation crack. Now, when I see cracks like this, which are not uncommon in non-steel reinforced foundations, which are foundations poured before World War II, and what's important to understand is that steel or rebar in concrete gives concrete tensile strength, which is strength when being pulled apart. Now, because we have expansive clay-based soils in the Bay Area that expand dramatically when wet and shrink up when dry, there's a lot of movement, and those tensile stressors are placed upon the concrete, and it can't always withstand it over, well, at this point now, it's been 100 years. Additionally, because of the shape of them, which is this trapezoidal shape, or what I call a battered footing, where it's straight up and down at the exterior and angled at the interior, there's an uneven distribution of weight on that footing. Additionally, it's poured very shallowly in the soil, so while a modern foundation has lots of the footing goes very deeply into the earth and extends pretty high above grade, these old foundations are the height of maybe a curb. So because of all of those factors, they're more prone to shifting and movement, and of course cracking. Now, you can't see the battered footing here because the cap and saddle has been poured on and around this foundation. You can see it a little bit down here. Maybe you could bring it over and you could show a little bit of the old footing. So that's original. This is the cap and saddle, but regardless, the crack has at least cracked the cap and saddle and probably cracked the footing behind it. Okay, so what to do when you observe a crack like this? It's not necessarily means that you need a new foundation, but it is important to monitor. And if we see lots of cracks like this, like 4 to 6 throughout the subspace, that's when we get a little concerned, because it means you essentially now have multiple little bits of a foundation that are all responding differently to earthquakes, but also to seasonal movement and settlement. And you're going to start to get a lot of sloping floors and sticky doors and windows and so on. But just one beefy crack like this is a monitor situation. So one thing you can do is draw a Sharpie line right across it and then watch it. Literally come down and check it biannually or once a year and see if that movement continues. If it's not moving, you're probably okay to keep it as it is and continue to monitor it. But if you see the crack become differentially settled, one side moving and the other moving differently, that means that you probably have too much moisture, and you want to add some drainage and you want to mitigate water in your subspace, and eventually you may want to replace a portion of the foundation.